Hi, this is Katie Weeks, your independent, close to my heart maker, and today I am joining with the Makers with Heart for another mystery envelope challenge. This one was sent to us by Kim Ferguson. So you can see the supplies that were sent to us from Kim, and we had a few rules. The guidelines were to create at least one paper piecing type image, and we could add white and black cardstock. We could use close to my heart stamps, inks, thin cut stencils. We could use the Wildberry gems and add one more color of gems or sequence if we used all of the Wildberry gems, and mixed media was encouraged. So you will see I got out my Cardfront Stencil Pack 3, and I chose the diagonal stripes stencil, and I'm starting with the Pixie ink and putting that down first, and then I'm going to layer on. I move the stencil and I use the lemonade ink. Then I think I use the Glacier ink. So I do 3 of them going the one direction. And I did not show you the whole entire thing, but sometimes when I am moving that stencil down, I had to reposition it to get the whole thing for each layer of each color. I also cleaned my stencil really well between each color when I was inking it. So you see I'm putting on the Glacier here, and I would clean it really well before I go and do the next color, which is Lilac. And when I go to do the next set of colors, it'll go 3 a different direction, and those colors I actually flipped the stencil over. So you want to make sure that everything is off, all of the ink is off of that stencil before you start inking the lines for that other side. Okay, so I'm finishing up the Lilac. That's actually a retired color. And next I'm going to do the Carolina, and then I'm going to do my mixed media, which is going to be adding Shimmer brush as my third option going that direction. Now it's pretty hard for you to see that clear shimmer brush on this video, but I did squeeze out and get a puddle of it, and then I made sure I got in those lines really well. And it's easier to do it in person than to see it on video, but you want to make sure that you're not getting underneath those lines and underneath the stencil and just staying right inside those lines as you follow the stencil. Okay, next I brought in the Stars and Sparklers Cardmaking Workshop Stamp and Thin Cut set. This is retired, but it's one of my favorites, and it's my favorite balloon stamp and thin cut set. So I think Kim had sent maybe some shortbread, and I'm cutting the little string and the bows that I will be stamping on. I'm cutting those out of the shortbread. And then the other colored pieces of cardstock that she sent, the Wildberry, the Glacier, I'm not sure what all I have here. I cut balloons, as many balloons as I could cut out of those little pieces. I cut to make a big balloon cluster for the front of my card. Now, that little piece of pattern paper that was Tutti Frutti that she sent, that is the only thing I did not use, that and the Post-it notes. So that piece of Tutti Frutti, I used that more as inspiration for picking out all of my colors for my inks to do the stenciled background and stamping and things like that. So I cut all of these balloons, and I cut all the strings and the pieces for the bows, and then I'm going to stamp on all of them. So I used intense black ink to come in and stamp the strings and the bows. And then the stamp set also had some stripes, some polka dots, and a shadow type stamp that you could put on the balloons. So I ended up using the same inks that I had used for the background stenciling in order to do all of those patterns for the balloons from my stamp set. I have no idea why arranging things takes me so long, but I don't make you look at how long it takes me to arrange these balloons on my card front. But literally arranging the balloons is what takes the longest for me, because I'm trying to separate similar colors and use visual triangles and make sure that all of them have strings and bows coming off of them, and some of it gets covered up and you don't see it anyway, so I don't know why I'm beating myself up over it. But I did use a dot adhesive. I have ran out of the kind that close to my heart sells, and I should be getting another refill any day in the mail. But the dot adhesive that we sell is wonderful for this type of thing, and doing it on top of our all-purpose mat, then you only have these sticky on the back of the small pieces that you want, and the rest of the adhesive that's on the mat easily wipes away. And so that is one tip I would really strongly encourage you to make sure you get, that dot adhesive we have in the back of our catalog. So here you'll see the balloons. I wanted to make sure I left one that I could put inside the card, because I don't like to have the inside plain after making such a beautiful outside to a card. I did make sure that the final yellow balloon on the front of the card had some thin 3D foam tape underneath it so that it came forward some. I was also able to go in and add all three of the Wildberry gems, and then I just added some clear sparkles after that, and you'll see those in the final pictures. I did use the stitch rectangle frames to cut a black frame for the sentiment, and that's what you see me cutting out here. And then I just stamped off of that same stamp set a sentiment that said "sending you birthday wishes." In this card, I probably will call it my Up card, because it reminds me of all the balloons on the movie Up. And but this is just a really fun card, and I can use it for male or female. It has plenty of blues in it. It's not too pink for a male, or I could use it for a female. I just really like how it turned out. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Kim, for sending us these fun pieces. I'm sorry I didn't get to use that last piece, but it was great inspiration, almost like a mood board to help my inking, so I knew what colors to go with. But here, I think if you look really closely, you can see the sparkles that come through for that extra set of stripes. So if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate if you've enjoyed watching this video, if you could hit the subscribe button and then turn on the bell for notifications. Also hit the like, that would give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and send a sweet comment. I'm leaving a link to the rest of the playlist for this mystery envelope challenge.